Nothing. So that's you're not going to win a World Series by bringing him in, and it's going to be. Excuse me, Mike Trout's the same way. He's not going to be worth the money. Even though he's a better player than Harper perennially.
But nobody's worth that money.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at, and I think Scott Boras is really shitting his pants right now that nobody was interested in his client. I think that's a huge shot to his ego.
Boras is going to quote unquote lose and still make him sign a $300 million contract at $275. So, he's still going to get money. He's not going to get $100 million.
He might get $275. I think that's probably where it tops out with him in the high twos.
And that makes sense. And Machado will probably get $250.
He could, yeah. He's still fairly young.
I don't see Machado getting more than him, close. Not within $30 million.
I think he gets $200, Machado.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been saying that for a little bit.
Well, Rosenthal said recently he expects Machado to get more. So
that's wild.
He didn't go into depth about it, and I don't have Machado's numbers up, but Harper has never exceeded 100 RBIs. So Machado must have at least once or twice.
Yeah, he's been up there once or twice, but I don't know if he's going over it. But either way, I'm pretty sure he did because he had like 40 home runs one year on a good Baltimore team. But Machado might get 225, and that just might be another extra year on the deal. You know what I mean? So we'll see what it plays out to be. But one more stat I want to jump on before we kind of wrap here with the big trade talk, because this is a smaller thing. It's a non-trade actually, but we were talking about how our bullpen's been sneaky good this year, and we were talking about how we didn't need like a top 4 hitter. We needed like a depth guy, so like Kinsler was kind of our guy. We've talked about this a lot in this podcast. The Colorado Rockies, they're in buy now, they're in win now, and one of the things that we've all said is that they need starting pitching. Probably the most thing, right?
Right.
In the last 25 games, the Rockies starters have a 2.74 ERA and a 1.94 batters against batting average.
Damn.
It sounds like they got things figured out over there, and they knew.
Especially this fact that they play in Coors.
Exactly, and it just goes to show that there's other teams out there that are similar in our shoes, where there could be a big upgrade with a Chris Archer, but it might not be necessary. And I think it just kind of goes to show that the Red Sox are in the same boat where, yeah, we could have used a Zach Britton, but do we really need a Zach Britton?
No.
So just a little food for thought for anybody that made it through 2 hours of this episode and still thinks that the Red Sox fucked up some way at the trade deadline, like in a major way.
They're in a weird scenario, right? The Rockies, to where they almost have to trade for starting pitching if they wanted to get a big name, because a big name is not going to come there in free agency. No pitcher wants to pitch at Coors and have that on his career.
Money talks, my friend. Money talks.
Well, true, and on both accounts, it would probably take a lot of money, and it's not a very desirable place. One last thing though about it: who won? Because I don't know that there's a winner here. Not a clear cut. That team knocked out everyone.
I think that there's 2 AL East teams that did really, really, really well in Baltimore and Tampa.
Okay,
I think Baltimore, Tampa, and Pittsburgh won.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's a 3-way tie. I think they all did amazing in what they needed to do. Baltimore got a ton of prospects and saved $35 million. The O's got players that can play right now and dumped future big contracts. Example, Archer. They're gonna not have to pay him. They got Pham and they got other guys. And Pittsburgh traded. Pittsburgh's like the wheeling dealing relievers. They've traded now 2 different, ninth inning legit closers. They just picked up another one, and they got a starting pitcher. They got another Garrett Cole. So I think everybody won.
Tampa traded Chris Archer and got better at the deadline.
Yeah, Tampa probably did do the best of anyone, but of all the contenders, though, who won? Of the people that can expect to go deep in the playoffs, who won in that regard? Because there's no clear-cut winner that way.
I want to say Houston. I don't want to say Houston because, that's such a messy situation, but he is a 23-year-old closer with a fresh arm in Ozuna.
In a not a minor deal, but a one deal, like one trade, Houston won because they got exactly what they needed. Their only weakness was their bullpen, and they fixed it. And health, obviously, but you can't trade for health. You can't make your guys healthy.
Springer got hurt tonight.
Even better for us, not for them. But
who got hurt?
I think Springer.
Oh, wow.
I think the two National League East teams did really well, Philly and the Braves. I think getting Ramos was good. I think the Braves, movement was good. So I think those two teams won as contenders. They're not the sexy contenders like the Red Sox, Yankees, and Astros, but they are contenders, and both teams might make the playoffs or will make the playoffs. So they're contenders in my mind.
I'm not a believer in Gausman though, and that was one of the big Atlanta moves.
I think that works out well for them, and they have something figured out. You look at Foltzy out there, and
Folty,
that's my guy. No. Going into this year, like if you looked at his ESPN fantasy notes, it said this is a make or break year for the young pitcher who has control issues and an ERA issue. Yeah, he figured it out. Newcomb's pitching great. I mean, their pitching staff is kind of doing like a mini Houston there. They're getting their guys, and they're really pitching well. So maybe that's all Gausman needed because there's no coaching in Baltimore. So maybe he goes there and he pitches really well, and he's on a good team and wants to play. So I think
Acuna is heating up.
Yeah, I mean, they're nasty. I mean, they're a good team, and they just set themselves up to be good for the future because if Gausman pans out, I mean, that's a good 3-4 man rotation right there on top of their young guys that are already hitting. And they have the money for Bryce Harper, technically. If they wanted him, they go get Harper. They're probably going to get Kimbrel back. So, just add that to the boat next year for them.
Yeah, and I got nothing against Atlanta. So, if they do well, then more power to them. Well, all right. I wanted to spend a little bit more time on the MLB wide stuff, but perhaps we can do that on Sunday. So we'll get to it one way or the other. But
hopefully after a win.
Still confident. My guy's still confident over there.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't call it confidence. I would call it ignorance. But
ignorance is bliss.
I think that game's going to be nicknamed Fenway Chainsaw Massacre, and it's not going to be good for the Red Sox.
Boston Massacre 3.0, basically.
Yeah.
You should definitely tweet that before the game, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just get all the boys riled up on Twitter.
Dear baseball gods, let David Price come out of here with at least not a 5 ERA.
Did you see that GIF I used for his Baltimore start? It was
No.
It was Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber sucking his thumb right before CS.
Oh, yeah. David Price is getting ready to pitch.
I'm gonna do that again on Sunday. I don't think that didn't perform the way I wanted it to, and I think it'll do better for that series anyway.
If it rains out, we got to stop using it.
Or something.
Yeah, if the game gets rained out, we have a problem.
If you wanna look at the positive, he did well on that night when I used it. So maybe it's
he did.
Maybe it'll be good luck for him. I don't know. But all right, we'll wrap on that. Good show, and I guess we'll catch up with you, David, next week, and the three of us will hold down the fort on Sunday.
Sounds good. Thanks, boys. Talk to you in a week.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Have a good one.
Later.
Episode 68 in the books. So, interesting week. Didn't really go the way some of us might have wanted it. Certainly not me. As I was saying, I wanted a bigger bat, and Kinsler doesn't quite get it done for me, but I'm glad they like it. If you guys like it, I'm glad you like it too. So, anyway, we, as I said with them, we'll reconvene on Sunday night, hopefully with some positive takes from a successful series, and we'll hash it out then. Have a good rest of your week.
Wherever I roam, a Fenway home, that's where I long to be. I'm a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of insanity. I live and die with Red Sox pride for eternity. I sleepwalk through the days when there's a West Coast swing. in October, I'd give anything. Still paying Red Sox debts from long ago. I'm a member of the Red Sox Nation. It's a kind of a family. Wherever I roam, a Fenway home, that's where I long to be. I'm a member of the Red Sox Nation. It's a kind of insanity.